Good morning everybody, it's Karen again. Today I'm going to show you how I make my panackelty, or panack in Sunderland we call it. And this was given to me, this recipe, by my mother, who was originally from Ireland, and this is how she used to make hers. So I'm going to be using some potatoes. Some are going to be chopped up and put in with the carrots and the onions and everything, and some are for to be sliced to go on the top. You're going to also need some carrots, onions, corned beef, 2 slices of bacon, not smoked, some sausages. I'm just using these 4 large pork sausages left over from the barbie, a bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and 2 oxo cubes. And let's get going. Right, so I'm going to start by just peeling the carrots and the potatoes and peeling the onions. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to chop up the onions. Don't have to be massively thin, just give them a quick chop. Like I say, I've used 3 small because that's all I could get. But if you've got a big large onion, that's all, you'll only need 1. Bit of onion skin. And then I'm popping it all in my slow cooker. However, you can, back in the olden days when my mother used to do it with it, she used to put it all in a big pan, as if you're going to do a big stew, and she'd bring it to the boil and turn it down to simmer and be left on there for a good 2 hours. But obviously I'm going to be looking on for work, so I need to just stick it all in the slow cooker. So that's just going straight in there. And then I'm just going to chop the carrots. No right way to do this or wrong way to do it, whichever way you want to do. If you want to chop them and just have them in slices like that, try and keep them quite chunky though, or you can have big chunks, whichever you prefer. I could do these a few times. Nice and chunky. And they're going in there as well. And then the potatoes. Try to use the smallest ones. And then they're going in as well. So we've got the onions, the carrots, and the chopped up potato in there ready. All I'm going to do now is slice these potatoes. If you've got a mandolin, then feel free to use it. But I'm just slicing these quite thin. And then I'm going to pop these in a glass bowl and cover them with water. So later on, when I come to put it all together for the oven, it'll be ready to just go. I don't have to stand and slice potatoes later on. Don't get rid of them ends, them little ends, just toss them in there. Waste not, want not. Same with that. go, pop them in there. Right, so we just pop all these into that there, and I'll just fill that with water, and I'll just make sure that they all go underneath the water. There you go. And then I will pop the lid on. You don't have to, you just got it there, and I'll put them to one side. Right, so now all them veg is in there. All I'm basically going to do now is I'm just going to get a little bit of salt, just about, not even a quarter of a teaspoon. Sprinkle that on because there's going to be quite enough salt in the corned beef and the bacon. And then about half a good teaspoon of pepper. That's them in. And all I'm going to do next is quickly fry off the sausages, chop the bacon and fry that off as well, and that's going to be added to the pot. So I'll just pop the pan on. I'm just going to use a little bit of the fry light. And then I'm going to pop the bacon in that side. And the sausages on this side. There you go. Right, so I'll quickly just slightly brown the sausages and the bacon, so I'm just going to toss them in now. And then, if you want to, you can chop them sausages again, make them halves or into 3 or 4, whichever you prefer, it's totally up to you. And then what I'm going to do is take the offshore cube out. I'm just going to sprinkle all over. And the second one. All over. Then I'm going to get water, boiling water, or just boiled in the kettle, and I'm just going to pour it all over, and I'm going to do 2 pints. Now, 2 pints of water, and then I'll just give it a little swivel around to mix up, because I'm going to get a lot of juices come out of the carrots and stuff, so doesn't need that much. If you're putting it in a pan, boiling it down, put the water above the vegetables, everything that's in. Once you've got everything in the pan, make sure it's above, because it's going to reduce down if it's on the top. Well, with the slow cooker it's not so much. So all I'm going to do now is get this corned beef. I'm just going to slice it into 6 slices like that, whole tin, and then half it. There you go. Waste not, want not. And then just pop it all in. And all this melts down. And just there you go. And then I'll just give that a last mix, get some of that corned beef inside, and then I'm going to pop that on before I start work. So like I say, if you're doing it in a pan, you put it on the cooker, everything in, totally cover it with water. You will have to keep checking it and maybe have to top it up, but it goes on, once it comes to the boil, turn it down to a simmer and leave it for at least 2 hours cooking. So you just keep popping back sporadically and just give it a little stir up and top with a little water if needed. So I'm going to pop this in the slow cooker now. It's going to go on high for about 3 to 4 hours, and then I'll see how it looks. So I've got a wooden spoon. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. And it's looking delicious. And you can see it's thickening up and it's looking good. So I'll pop the lid back on it and I will leave that on low, turn it down to low for about another couple of hours, and then it'll automatically just turn itself down to keep it warm until I'm ready and finish work. Right, so the panache is done in here, so all I'm going to do is take some out, pour it into the dish. It's a bit of a messy job, but it works. Oh, the chunks. Nice bit of carrots. That's it. What I'm going to do now is the potatoes. Just going to pop them on and I'm going to overlap them. All the way around. And then I just go around the edges again. Double layers. There you go. I'll swap in. There you go. Double layers, you can go in the bin. And we've still got a few left there. I always make a few fritters for them. Just cover them with water, pop them in the fridge. And now what I'm going to do now is grab a little bit of butter. And the butter, just going to get a little bit off, not too much. Just put little droplets of butter. And it'll just melt, and I'll colour your potatoes a little bit, just tiny bits. That'll do. Right, so I'm going to pop this in the oven now at 180, and I'm going to leave it in the oven for a good hour. I'll just keep checking it about every half an hour, but it'll probably take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And I'll come back to you when it's ready and show you what it looks like. Right, so the panackelty is out of the oven. I turned it off and left it in there just for 10 minutes to let it slowly cool down because it's bubbling. So that's it done. I'm going to plate it up and show you what it looks like. And there we have it, panackelty, Sunderland style. Can I just say a big thank you to everybody for watching, And if you like this video, can you give me a thumbs up? Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification and it will tell you when I have a new video uploaded. And I just want to say, last but not least, a very big thank you for everybody who interacts on my channel. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.